Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Jerry Robotengu Smith,
And I'm Sean, bearded Capitalism.
and today we have a special guest for you. Craig, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Craig Southern Fried Geekery Lance. I didn't have a name to call myself, so I'll just throw that in there.
That'll
No,
work.
I'm Craig Lantz. You probably, if you listen to my other podcasts, you might recognize my voice from that Southern Fried Geekery podcast. But yeah, I thought I'd come on. Sean invited me, and I thought I'd come on and just hang out with you guys for a little while tonight.
Yeah, man. Well, we're totally happy to have you on here. Our listeners of previous episodes, me and Jerry brought up often about Southern Fried Geekery that we were, when we were a part of the show. So yeah, it's good to have one of our old, Southern Fried and Geekery brothers back in to talk some good old geekery with us. So,
Jerry's Northwestern Fried now.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
they fry shit up
Uh,
north?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can still get fried foods. I had no joke yesterday. We like so okay. I fucked up and we were taking our sick cat to the vet. And I got the times mixed up and we showed up an hour early. And like Steph and I have been trying to take care of her, and we have kind of neglected ourselves a little, so we hadn't eaten like all day.
oh,
So we were so hungry. They let us go ahead and leave her up there, and they kenneled her until her appointment. But we found this little bar around the area. No joke, like best fucking onion rings I've had in my entire life. They were,
wow.
yeah,
Sometimes bars have really good food.
yeah.
Um,
It's all about the hole in the wall places out here, just
it
finding those little gems, you know.
I'm pretty
when I lived
sure
in
it's a sin being from the South that you're admitting any kind of Northern food is the best you've ever eaten.
I know, right?
when I lived in Colorado, there was a little bar there that had the best Philly cheesesteak sandwiches I've ever had.
Oh,
And
Isn't
it
it
was
great?
it was a little bar. Now it could have been that I was completely drunk off my rocker that night, but
The alcohol does help enhance the food, that is for
it,
sure.
it certainly can at times.
well, Craig, thank you for being on the show with us. And
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah, it's
inviting me.
been fun. We've had a lot of fun here
Yeah,
today.
see you guys
all right,
later.
all right, we are done. Good show, everybody.
Oh,
Good
it's the
show.
old just started the podcast and now we're done with the podcast gag. Caleb would be so proud.
Right?
But we do have a tradition of our. You are now the third guest, and we've started with the previous two. We always give our guests the starting topic. So, Craig, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've kind of waffled back and forth on what I wanted to talk about, but I think I'm going to go back to what I initially had,
Okay, okay.
Sean. So, on Southern Fried Geekery this week, we talked about, scumbags in pop culture.
Mm,
And it got me to thinking because I was watching the Hobbit series,
Oh boy.
and
yeah,
Thorin Oakenshield is such a horrible, horrible dwarven person
right.
that I can't hardly watch that movie, that series,
Yeah, yeah.
just because of his character. And
Yeah.
are there characters that do that for you guys that just make you want to, like, otherwise you think you might like the movie or the show or
But you,
whatever pop culture, but the
Well,
the main character is such an asshole that you just can't handle watching it?
well,
Or
I actually want to talk
go,
about Thor and Oakenshield then real quick.
okay,
Since you brought it
yeah,
up, because honestly, that's a thing about the Hobbit, and I want to say, like, granted, there's a lot to criticize about the trilogy, more the filler for most people than anything. But I will say this about Thorin, as you brought him up, I think his portrayal, they try to make him a lot more sympathetic because he's supposed to be that asshole. So in the way he was trying to make him become sympathetic, we had a lot more focus on him as instead of Bilbo in the Jackson trilogy, and it just really made it. I mean, it didn't ruin it for me, but I get what you're saying because, like I said, in the books, it was all more Bilbo Thorin is just the rude dwarf to him the entire movie. But yeah, I can see,
Yeah.
especially with the padding, he's a lot more intolerable when he's so centrally focused.
So in the book, and it's been a long time since I read the book.
Yeah.
But in the book, they send, anytime there's potentially a problem or danger or whatever, they're like, "Oh, Bilbo, that's your job. Go handle it." Specifically, Thorin is that way to him. It's like, go check on those trolls over there. Go do that. It. But then when you get into the where he like becomes dragon sick at the end of it,
yeah,
you can blame that on the sickness and him betraying everybody because of the dragon sickness. In this movie, in the movies, he's pretty much that way all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to do whatever it takes to fulfill his quest and fuck everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, again, that's like I said, I think that was a weakness of the film, personally, on that one.
Yeah.
Because he focused so much, especially in the last movie, it was a lot more about Thorin. And when you really don't care, because he's such an asshole, even when Bilbo saved him and he tried to kind of treated him like one of them, he was still a dick to him. Because then dragon sickness.
Well, yeah, I was just rewatching them because I have the extended editions and I had never watched them.
Yeah.
I can't even watch the third one. I got through the first two and I'm like, I don't even fucking care. I hate Thorin so much that I don't care. I know what happens, and outside of watching Legolas, defy physics one more time, there's no reason to watch the third movie. So,
well, Jerry,
but you guys have other characters like that do that to you?
Oof. Man, honestly, like, and it's something that had to grow on me, and you guys are gonna be like, what? No, and it's not even side character, main character. Luffy kind of really annoyed me in One Piece for the longest time because I was like, you're so goddamn dumb. All you have to do is stick to the plan and things will work out fine. And then it's just a whole like backtracking of like, well, I guess we Luffy'd it.
Well, that definitely ends up being the charm that it still works out despite him being the lovable moron that he is.
It's true, but holy shit, like it really annoyed me for the longest time.
But see, I can see that. I'm sorry, Sean.
No, go ahead.
I can see that because when I first started watching One Piece, it took me 4 times before I finally stuck with it. It was always Luffy's character that turned me off.
Yeah.
And of course now I absolutely love the character. I even have him tattooed on my leg. But I can see that, Jerry.
Yeah.
For me, what I get a lot as far as like the asshole leads or the unlikable leads that make you just not want to watch a movie or care. Me, I'm a big horror buff, and you get that a lot in some of the like weaker, not as well written horror movies, because you're supposed to care about at least the one survivor, and sometimes they're written such an annoying, know-it-all, whiny, or just they're not much better than the trope people that are going to get killed who are following all the drinking, sex, all the the sins that the serial killer has to kill them over. Sometimes the lead ain't much better than the assholes, or just as annoying as them, and it makes it when you don't get that satisfying kill because they are the survivor, the heroine. It makes that has brought down several horror movies. I can't think of like immediate examples because I watch so many every year. But that's definitely I run into that a lot where like you're trying to make me care about this character, and I want the killer to kill them. I don't want them to cheer when they get away. I boo it when it happens.
And a lot of times I feel that way in horror movies too. One I can think of that I was actively rooting for the guy to survive was Cabin Fever, and it was the dude that killed the guy with his bong.
Right.
and I don't remember if he did live or not, but a lot of times I don't care if the people live or die in a horror movie because they portray them as such bad people. So I totally get that one too.
I mean, typically, but the better written ones, like I don't know about y'all. I mean, maybe, but like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original 1970.
Yeah, 73, something. 73? Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember her name, But it was cathartic and good. And like when she finally got in the back of that truck and was just laughing at Leatherface as he's freaking out, that was rewarding because she had done nothing but try to survive. Like there was nothing negative about her. Her friends, which were a lot whinier and worse, wheelchair dude. Like my God,
Yeah.
no, I don't care if he's in a wheelchair. That dude was annoying as shit. I was glad he died.
Yeah, I don't typically actively root for somebody in a wheelchair to die in a horror movie, but that dude I was.
Yeah, but she was good. Laurie Strode in Halloween. That was a good written heroine. You can say what you want about the later sequels that no longer count anymore. About, when she came back, but that was when you wanted her to get away from Michael Myers. So yeah, it's it can be done in horror movies, but often, especially in the quick kind of lower budget, and even though some of the mainstream, because I would say even the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't remember liking that character nearly as much as the original. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of still they try to I don't know if it's trying to be that modern mindset or just lazy writing. It was Michael Bay directed or produced, I believe. So characters aren't his strength. So,
wasn't it Jessica Biel?
It was, which nothing against the actress. It's just the role they gave her. I mean, Biel's done some good movies to my knowledge.
She almost got FM magazine shut down, right?
What?
Did you guys not know this?
No.
Remember she was on that show, Seventh Heaven?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she wanted off of that show really bad. She still had a couple of years in her contract.
Right.
And it was supposed to be, kind of a Christian-based show. So she went and posed nude for FM magazine.
Oh.
Except she was only 17. Yeah, so the pictures you don't really see anything, but one of them you can kind of see a nipple through a reflection in a mirror. And that almost got them shut down for
and all she wanted to do was get off her crappy WB show or CW.
Yeah, so posing nude, even though it wasn't really, I mean, she was nude, but you couldn't see anything, was a way to get, where they would fire her from the contract.
Right.
And it worked.
Oh, well, I mean, success for her, because get out of contract, especially in Hollywood, can be a motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
But inadvertently almost shut down a magazine. But then again, they also should have known better because they knew her age.
They should have edited it just a little better.
Should have looked a little closer in that Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got a question for you both. What are your top 10 favorite things about the movie Revenant and Go?
The opening credit. The part where the bear kills him.
Wow, spoilers. I haven't even seen the movie yet, Craig.
And the end credits. The music. The cinematography. And nothing else.
I like Craig's. I need someone out there now with editing skills to make the Craig version of The Revenant, where you see the opening credits, immediately cut to the bear mauling, and then end credits.
Yeah, and then it's just
release the Craig cut.
Oh, show like the one real artsy scene of the snow melting.
Yeah.
In the clouds going over. Yeah,
we need the hashtag out there. Release the Lantz cut.
The Lantz cut.
We need that.
And it's literally like the movie just cut up in like 5 minutes of it.
Well, did you guys ever, the original Cabin Fever? Did you have that on DVD by any chance?
Oh no,
I'm pretty sure I did at one point. But
so on there they had a girlfriend. No, they had a family-friendly cut.
Oh.
Which was literally, when they leave the house and they're in their car and they turn down the road.
Yeah.
It shows that, and then it shows the end credits. Then they had a girlfriend cut where they put a hand over the screen, so all you could see was between some fingers through the whole movie. It was pretty great. Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, but that movie was
I miss those old days of having really cool DVD
exclusive like cuts and like
Well,
special
even that.
features and stuff.
Well, yeah, but even like the menus for
Right.
DVDs were just
Mhm.
so good back in the day.
Yeah, that was kind of something that Steph and I experienced last night because we keep forgetting about it, but we bring it up whenever it's not convenient. That we've been wanting to rewatch 1408 with John Cusack, right? Because
Okay.
neither
Yeah.
one of us
Yeah.
had seen that movie in like fucking million years.
That's the
Um,
ghost movie, right?
yeah, it's the one with
Hotel.
the hotel room, right? And
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
got Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah.
So it actually had alternate endings, and there's no way, whenever you rent something on Amazon or whatever, to see that alternate ending. Like it just
Uh,
does whatever one ending is. It's probably like the original ending from the book and stuff like that. So I actually was like, did I make this up in my head? And I had to look it up and found out that it was an alternate ending for it.
you,
Um, but
back in the day, the movie Clue had alternate endings,
Yeah.
and
Sure did.
depending on the theater you went to, different people would have been the killer.
Yep.
ah,
Yeah.
So now, of course,
yeah.
in the video release of it, they did that whole thing with Tim Curry where he goes, or it could have been this, and then
Right.
it shows the other
Exactly.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I'd heard about when I first, because I found the movie through like TV, like Comedy Central or something like that, airing it. But yeah, it's like that's how it could have ended, or maybe this way, and it
Right.
showed. Then I found out, which is just so awesome. But to kind of talk about also back on like the DVD menus and all the features, because like, I mean, granted, I haven't bought physical movie in a long time, but it's like the special features and all that kind of stuff has gotten a lot lazier. And like, you remember there was like, I'm trying to remember which movie now, but there was actually like, you had to go through menus on certain movies to unlock features. Like it was almost like a game within the DVD menu screen because it was all
Yeah,
so
I know.
new.
I know there was that on Harry Potter. Like the
Right.
first Harry Potter, I think had games on it that you had to play. Like you had to hit the right bricks to get into Diagon Alley.
Yeah, like you literally like you could move if you see the menu where it's only up and down, but if you press left or right, you might go to a secret. Like I want to say Seven had that on the DVD maybe, but it's like
Oh wow.
one of those horror films where like you kind of had like clue based mystery to it, and like that they used to really do it up like that on when DVD was newer. Because they're like, well, we got this new thing, let's really have some fun with it.
Yeah,
Well,
I think actually the first Transformers DVD had a special thing like that, and that's how you found the Iron Man trailer.
Oh,
Yeah, like in the menus. Like I can't really exactly remember how it went, but you had to mess around with moving the cursor over to something that wasn't even like look like an option, and then when you
right.
clicked on it, it was the fucking Iron Man
See,
trailer.
I was hoping you were.
yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say you do the right combination on the menu and it destroys the DVD for you.
From existence. Yeah, it just deletes it from this
Wipes
plane
it
of
from your
existence.
Yep.
memory that it ever even existed.
Just automatically ejects it into your trash can.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like,
That's
why
funny.
wouldn't it do that?
But
Uh,
no, I do want
yeah,
to circle back though to your initial question, Jerry, about
yeah.
the Revenant.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. All
you know,
right. Yeah.
within our personal
Nice.
conversations, Craig, we know you were not a fan of the movie, as most people did enjoy it. So actually, and we all know, to be honest, a lot of it was Leo chasing that Oscar. He really wanted to, and we all can agree he probably deserved it much sooner than the Revenant. But
Oh, yeah.
it just took him almost dying of hypothermia and getting the flu like 4 times while recording it to finally win it. But like, no. So what role would you have said he should have got the Oscar? What's his earliest role you think he should have deserved it on?
For me, I would say What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah.
no,
Like
yeah,
that
excellent
early.
portrayal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, he think what you want of the movie, but I think honestly one of the first things I even remember seeing him in was Titanic.
Well, of course, and that
And
was a lot of people.
yeah, and I think like a
I
big
remember
part of
him from
his
Silver Spoons.
Silver Spoons.
Going way back on that.
Wasn't he also in, was it Love and Basketball?
Basketball Diaries.
Basketball
Basketball
Diaries,
Diaries. That's
which he
it.
was outstanding in,
Yeah.
is a heroin addict. Yeah.
Sadly, never watched that one because that's one of the I know that's one of his another movie he probably should have won for. Now, like for me, like I said, like even if you don't want to do The Revenant, I haven't seen was it The Aviator he had done,
Yeah.
which I hadn't watched that one yet. But like Wolf of Wall Street should have.
Dude, I just watched that yesterday or the day before. Unfucking believable movie.
It is a fantastic film, which with a pretty big cast to it. But my God, he carries that film. You know what I mean? Like that was all Leo. If Leo wasn't feeling it that day, or that was Scorsese, right? Directing.
Yeah, that was a Scorsese film.
Scorsese and him just weren't clicking for some reason. That alone, that should have got him it. If not, we'll even go to the other Scorsese, The Departed. Was another fantastic one. And I'm still saying, every time we talk Leo movies, I got to bring it up, even though I'm not saying it's an Oscar winner performance, but I still love his Romeo and Juliet film.
I love it too. And
like, I don't know if it's gotten a better
I honestly can't think of a single movie that I, don't like him in. I mean, like, we all know that he should have gotten an Oscar just off the bat just for his role in Critters 3. So
someone's got IMDb up.
The direct to
video. They all have every Hollywood actor has that like first horror movie they love.
Oh yeah, I mean, because horror movies love casting young unknown actors. So I mean,
and that's probably why there's so many people that do so many of those like really bad like tropey horror movies, because they're like, Leo did it and he fucking made it after Critters 3.
Johnny Depp, Kevin Bacon,
right?
Yeah, it goes on and on.
Oh, dude, I mean, because Johnny Depp got the blood fountain in Nightmare on Elm Street. For those who didn't realize that was him, because that was a very young job. Maybe his first movie role, because he did some TV. I think before.
I think he actually did 21 Jump Street after that.
Oh, okay. So that might have been his first, big.
Yep, I think role. That was his. Yeah,
I know for a fact Kevin Bacon getting the arrow through the trachea was his first movie role.
Yep.
So that was his big breakout, and Jennifer Aniston, Leprechaun. People forget she was in that, and
Johnny Depp's first role was the Snake.
Okay.
The Snake, a movie.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Oh no, sorry, that was discography. Yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street was his first.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we all can't get those, sometimes you get those amazing roles, and then sometimes you're Tom Hanks in a made-for-TV movie showing how evil Dungeons and Dragons is.
Did he do that before he did Bosom Buddies?
Maybe
or was
not,
he already a star? I don't remember.
I'm about to...
we'd have to IMDb that, but yeah.
We'll find out, but that's... I know it's early.
Fuck that movie. What was it? Mazes and
Monsters.
Masters or something? Mazes and Monsters?
Yep.
I mean, I'm surprised you don't know, because usually around this time of year, and probably just don't tell him so you don't have to watch it, but Matt will usually play that bullshit.
Yeah.
He does like popping that one on randomly for some reason. Let's see. But
I'm not seeing it. Honestly, I'm not seeing it on his IMDb. That's kind of hilarious. Like, it's not credited.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nope. There it is. He did that the same year Bosom Buddies ended.
Gotcha.
That was 1982, right? When Bosom Buddies ended in '82. And then he did like an episode of Happy Days, episode of Taxi. And then Mazes and Monsters. So that is his first.
Mazes and Monsters. Jeez.
Well, maybe not his first movie role, because this is a movie.
Probably his first starring role.
Yeah, definitely that, because he did a movie. His first movie was called and I just lost it. Anyway,
He Knows. Was it He Knows You're Alone?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's his first movie role and first role in general, at least by IMDb. Then he did that TV, then straight to television movie of Mazes and Monsters, showing that when you play Dungeons and Dragons, you can defend yourself against a homeless man who tried to mug you. That's literally the only bad thing he did. And I'm trying to demonize a game about imagination.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, it was the time when they were blaming rock and roll and Dungeons and Dragons for everything. So
yeah, I mean, that's what caused fucking Manson to do the atrocities that he did, right?
Yes,
Of
exactly.
course,
They were big fans of fucking D&D, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, you know what? I feel like that's going to be a fun segue, right? That we just made. So, Manson.
Okay.
No, kidding. We the
Roll
three
your
of us,
characters.
the three of us actually have quite a bit of experience in the Dungeons and Dragons realm now, don't we?
We do.
Oh yeah.
So, like,
Killing people's parents in fantasy games, Craig. Yeah.
It just has to be done. I don't know why you guys hold the DM responsible for that shit. Why would you try and create a happy life for your character?
Craig's just like, it's called character growth. Now give me the knife.
I let your two little buddies live in that series.
It's true. It's true.
So why don't you? So this sounds like we got some history here going on. Why don't y'all explain that storyline a little bit?
Oh no, it was just a storyline that Craig did. Please, Craig, take it away. Go ahead. It was your story.
I was a DM, and a group of our friends were all playing. Jerry was one of those players.
Yeah.
Poor souls. Oh
Yeah,
players,
and it was a Gothic horror, horror, not horror.
Yeah,
A Gothic horror story.
We got to all adults here, Craig.
Right? And, a mist filled the land and killed everybody's parents. I don't know why they were upset by this. I mean, a random ship crashes into the coast, and from that ship comes this fog, and the fog kills everybody in town. I
mean, perfectly logical, really.
I
want to play that campaign scenario. I'm cool with that. You don't need.
Yeah, the funnest thing about it is, playing in a Craig game in general is like, I'm Craig. I'm old school D&D. I'm gonna hit you with shit that's gonna lower your level and lower your strength and all this stuff. And then he turned one of our players into a sponge.
I did turn him into a sponge.
You see,
I forgot that.
Now you see, Craig, this is the youth of today. Like y'all thought I was bad because for you listeners out there who don't know or weren't, a lot of y'all were part of this game. I DM'd Craig and Jerry and many of our other friends for a year in my first attempt at Dungeons and Dragons, or actually technically Pathfinder.
Motherfucker, there were 12 people in that game by the time it ended.
We started with 14. We lost 2 along the way. Because I had teams of 7 at a time.
I thought we started with less than that, and you were like, this will be fine. It'll usually just dwindle down, and then we gain more people.
Actually, you might be right about that. But
because I think we started with
both
10.
lost some, and I know we lost a couple, and then more people were added. So.
Yeah, but I came from not like as far back when Craig started playing it. So, he got in there when it was new, but I played 2nd edition, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then Pathfinder being 3.5. So
that old reverse negative armor class.
Oh, dude, Thaco was so stupid. And
I played before Thaco.
Right.
I don't even know what you guys were talking about.
Exactly.
And you see, Craig, I remember Jerry and them all thought I was mean because I'm gonna let a player make a bad choice. I'm that DM who will let you choose bad. I'm gonna put y'all in tough situations, but honestly, stuff will be. I believe the group can handle as long as the group is all paying attention and not on their phones and helping out and acknowledging the battlefield because we use the miniatures because I'm still a big fan of miniatures and everything was laid out, everything was shown. And if a party happened to get wiped out because they let their meat grinder go down, that's not on me. And that was simply player faults. But Craig, you got that old school knowledge. So again, mainly because I got laziness. I don't want to mess with stat altering and level dropping.
If dude can't make a saving throw, that's not my fault.
That's true.
You become a sponge. Oh, poor Blake.
Yeah.
Sponge Blake, SquarePants.
Yeah, turned into a sponge. Was he at least an intelligent sponge? 'Cause I wasn't a part of this game.
No,
No.
he was not. I
No,
think
and
he
he could like
actually
take his form for like a half a round
Oh,
and then collapse back into a sponge.
didn't he just say F it and re-roll his character like after that?
No,
Or did he turn back to the normal
no,
form?
you guys bought a heal potion for
Oh.
him from the random vendor that showed up at the
Yeah.
end of, because they were in a maze in a labyrinth.
oh.
And so I knew that I had to have a way for them to get supplies throughout this thing because it was a huge labyrinth. And so randomly, I would have a vendor show up to sell them stuff.
Hey, I would have been fine having him stay in that form, and I could have just thrown him at enemies and stuff. It would have worked out.
So now he's playing a paladin because he wants as large of advantage on saving throws as he can get.
You traumatized him to roll in the meta because like he wants to make sure he can not deal with any more of your bullshit. Apparently,
Well, have you seen that meme where the guy's like, "Hey, roll a reflex save," and the guy rolls, and the DM says, "Well, roll 3d6." And the guy rolls, and the DM writes it down. He says, "Okay, do it again." Writes it down. He goes one more time, and the guy goes, "Wait, I'm rolling a new character, aren't I?"
and see, my favorite thing was just armor class for enemies because there's also that meme of like your face when you roll a 19 and the DM says miss.
Yeah.
Until you get to the touch AC, motherfucker.
And without
Yeah, Jerry
banned,
forced me to I had to ban touch AC for my games because of Jerry.
Craig's traumatized from guns.
Oh, guns are such. I mean, I don't know if we ever did guns in any of my games. I don't remember having to deal with that.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
where Flea was.
Yeah.
It was. You're right.
Yeah, and I played Ichabod in Craig's game.
Oh yeah. Because I remember. I had to deal with Jerry's bullshit too, Craig.
Yeah.
And I think
it
Jerry
sucks, man.
very much remembers when they were like, "You see these orcs that are coming out, and they're not wearing armor." I made them have naturally strong skin just to say "fuck you, Jerry." Earn it.
I would just start increasing the touch AC, and Jerry's like, "They're a bigger character. They're supposed to have lower touch AC." I'm like, "Too bad."
That's cheating, Craig.
That's when you pull that DM card of like, quit playing the meta. Your character can
Yep. Well, this one's got natural AC. I don't know what to tell you, Jerry.
Yeah, I don't know what. It just happens sometimes, Jerry. But Jerry,
Right.
you ran a game once for me.
Oh man, I made some people.
Was that the dinosaur game?
That was the Jurassic Park game.
Yes, it was.
in Sean's world.
Yeah.
And it was all going pretty swell. And then my dinosaurs came out to attack, and one of the raptors crit on Kat's character, and it was like 3d6 damage. And she was dead in one hit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
One that also, I believe your campaign also brought in one of our, what became at least the group when I was playing, one of our favorite monsters to throw in there was you used mimics.
Yeah. I so I had something that I was trying to play a little trick on him, but Noelle was too smart for it. And how these theme parks and stuff have just random trash cans all over the place. And I had an item that they were looking for, and I had a tipped over trash can, and the item was in the trash can. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers with this. And Noelle was like, I'm gonna shoot it with an arrow. I was like, really? Yeah. They found my mimic.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
See, and one of my favorite monsters is the gelatinous cube.
Oh yes.
Because I love putting y'all in like Labyrinth Dungeons, and it may have been you, Craig. I don't remember specifically, but I remember like I want to say like John ran in and hit. He was a melee fighter. I think Noelle may have done something too, and someone's like, "I'm just gonna walk away."
I polished my sword during the entire battle.
Yeah, because I think it was acid. An acid.
I think that was literally our first session into that huge fucking year-long campaign.
Oh, okay.
With our group, yeah. And
Yeah.
like you decided to throw a gelatinous cube at us and an owlbear for our
Dude,
first fucking
owlbears,
session.
man. I love me some
Yeah.
owlbears.
Was
Yeah.
that the owlbear that we cut in half, Jerry?
Yes, it was. John
one-
was
yeah.
successfully using animal handling on it, and he only
Yeah.
had one more to go. And you and I were like, meh. Yeah.
So much to the point
Oh,
that
good
I
times.
felt so bad for John. He was like legit disappointed.
Well, you ended up giving him one later
Exactly.
anyway,
So I had to.
you big friggin' softy.
Hey, like, and for you DMers out there who, at least at the time, I don't know if it's changed in the 5th edition or anything, where you can't have a tamed owlbear. Just for y'all, so you're not waggling your fingers at me as a DM. It was all bear stats. But what was his name? Owly? Or was no?
Oh man.
No,
I don't remember, but I do remember that the best part about the owlbear was that he wore t-shirts.
He wore a t-shirt.
It was Beaky.
Beaky. There
Yeah.
was. And every
Yeah,
session
Beaky
at the
Owl.
start of it, I was like, John, what's Beaky wearing today? and John on the spot had to come, because I'm knowing John, I'm sure he legitimately forgot every session that he had to come up with a name, because it felt very just like, owlbear hugs or free owlbear hugs.
Yeah.
Speaking of John,
Yeah.
he cosplayed as the DM from the
What?
from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon
Dude,
this week while we
yup.
DM'd our game.
No,
Dude,
shit.
he messaged me like a week or so ago, and I was really sad I couldn't make it to that session because he was like, "Should I?" And he sent me a picture, and it was the fucking dungeon master costume, and I'm like, "Yes, you should."
I need a picture of that. I have not
Yeah,
seen that.
He wore it through the entire session.
Good man, that's
But-
penny arcade level of dedication. I can appreciate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the heat's going and you're getting warm.
Right.
And,
Oh
yeah.
no, yeah. I could be in shorts and my classic sleeveless shirt. I'm still sweating buckets trying to remember these numbers and keep you numbnuts in line and focused on the task at hand. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone who's run a larger group D&D game or any kind of tabletop game knows that fun but struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Eventually, you're just like, sure, that hit.
oh no, there were some times where I was like, you know what? Yeah. I either made them run off, or all of a sudden, if all their hit points got really low, all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, he was on his that one work you never touched in the far back. Yeah, he was on his last leg. I don't know how he tripped.
Yeah. Tripped. Stabbed himself
Yeah,
once.
fell on his sword. Because sometimes you got to wrap it up. I think I did that with the
Right.
Friday the 13th game. Because I threw a lot of zombies at y'all at one point.
There were so many zombies.
But to me, that's still one of my favorite of the sessions I threw y'all, especially because it inadvertently became a two-parter.
Yeah, and then that stupid fucking mask was
Yeah, that
my
mask
downfall.
was great.
Yeah, until it was until you died, and then it ended up being my downfall.
Well, blame the other people that let me die.
Exactly, and that's for both of y'all. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Hold up, yeah, because y'all, or Jerry especially, wants to talk to me like it was all my fault. So here's a scenario for you good listeners out there. I took him to Camp Crystal Lake because I'm a Friday the 13th mark, and I based all the enemies off the NES game. You know, like I put a lot of work into it. And the first group, which I don't think Jerry or Craig, I don't remember if either one of y'all were a part of that first group.
I was not.
Yeah. And they went to Camp Crystal Lake. They killed Jason's mother's floating head, just like it is in an old Nintendo game. And then, like, Jason disappeared into the woods. I'm like, because I was trying to lure y'all, or lure the group out to him. They're like, oh, yeah, we killed his mom. He's done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? And all the group was kind of like, yeah, he's obviously pacified. And, some of them were playing character. I think a few were just kind of like wanting to end it because I ran them ragged in this adventure. Like, cool. So I think I did a session or two, and then all of a sudden there's another thing. Hey, there's more killings at the camp again. So this time, I know Craig went with this session at least because that's where you end up killing Jason. And you see when he disappeared, there was a machete and a mask. And
And I took them both.
Yep. And the machete was a legit prize. The mask was a cursed item. So it became stuck to Craig, and he had to roll. I'm trying to remember. I think I made it was not a Constitution check, but
It was a will save.
a will saving throw. Yeah, every round or at the beginning of every battle or something like that, and to resist being possessed by the spirit of Jason, kind of taking on the heart being passed around, and Jason goes to hell idea with the mask instead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fast forward to Craig dying because he had 2.5 healers in a party who weren't helping him. Let him die, which again, he died without the mask. So it became a vengeance quest for the rest of the group because the entire party wiped because they lost Craig because they were so dependent on him and none of them knew how to work together.
Listen here.
Hey, you weren't in that one. No,
You weren't in that party.
That wasn't you. You were part of the revenge mission.
Oh, right. Because that was the one where he had like 2.5 healers in the group.
Yeah, 2 priests and a paladin.
Yeah,
and they were all busy fighting the mobs. Which granted the paladin, but like the folks weren't paying attention. It happens, and they paid for it because as soon as Craig went down, the rest of the party followed shortly after because they could not handle it. Because in my mind, I made that encounter to be a team effort, as it should be in the final battle of a session. Because I run it very much like a video game. You're in the last boss, you get the party together. But so they wiped. Vengeance mission. Jerry, you found Craig's body. And you wanted, and he was, y'all's characters were like brothers. Y'all really got along. You were playing the elf, barbarian, berserker,
Bob the Barbarian.
Yeah, with his fake beard because he wanted to be a dwarf so bad. And yeah, so he kind of gave I think you knelt low to kind of give him his farewell. And I made the mask leap onto you, which again, you failed the will save.
Yeah, it was a barbarian, Sean. Do you remember that part?
I was okay with this. The party beat the ever-loving shit out of you.
Yeah.
And granted, this is the meta knowledge. They forgot that when you're berserked, you get extra hit points that go away when you calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So,
or when you're knocked unconscious.
Exactly. So as soon as Jerry dropped, they could have been like, we need to restrain our friend. Nope, let's just attack his ass. And they hit him. They did so much damage to him when he finally dropped. They're like, okay, we got him down. I'm like, and then all his 15 hit points disappeared because it was his berserker points, which made him negative
game mechanics.
Yeah, which made him negative 20 or something like that. It made you below your Constitution score. So you were dead, unresurrectable. They beat you into mush.
Let me tell you a little story about a friend of ours named Tony who was in his second session of this fucking game and was like, I didn't know that my fucking dragon's breath was gonna kill you. I'm like, God damn it, Tony.
Well, how would he know? To be fair, as a player, he wouldn't know that. But I'm just my point is, I set up situations that were completely doable. And the party let y'all down. Which I'm sure a lot of Dungeons & Dragons players can feel your pain on that one. I have no regrets.
Yeah. It's always tough, having a character die, especially because that was like my first most long running character in a game. I think this is the first time we really got into it. And then I came back with the vengeance with Flea. Because fuck everything in your game after that.
That was the last time Jerry ever played a frontline fighter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so other than those two games, I've played a half-orc paladin in our D&D game, and I was fucking rocking shit with that.
Oh.
And then I played a Warforged paladin as well. So I've done both of those in D&D, so I kind of like to go more like tanky heals with like holy power and stuff like that. So
right.
I don't know.
My that's a good question. What's everybody's favorite class to play?
Oh,
I mean, outside of Gunslinger, just because I'm like a huge Wild West Clint Eastwood Man with No Name fan. I've just really been latched onto to just like paladins lately, and kind of that whole holy fighting tanky class. I don't know. I just kind of like how they're sort of well rounded, where they can do magic but also do a lot of damage and stuff too.
Right.
Sean?
Oh, my absolute favorite, even though I've tried several classes at different times, but I still think the most fun I have is playing bards. I
Right.
I like the support class, and it's a total support bard. This came actually from fourth edition, where it was a lot more, which a lot of people didn't like. At least now, like I've been hearing more and more how like fourth is really not liked as much because fourth was heavy on miniatures and like battle placement, which I really like. So like, because that one was where I really found the love of like using a bard to adjust people's positions in battle and stuff. So like between healing, buffing, even without all that kind of movement stuff anymore in the newer editions or in Pathfinder 3.5. Yeah, I like the idea of just someone who can sing someone to death or inspire through metal, as I love doing with Bones. Does that the good old his number one hit single, motherfucker die, motherfucker die. Yeah, and what about you,
My
Craig?
favorite is a forearm Warpriest.
He was
I'm
pretty
so,
badass.
I'm so glad he was. That was never in my game. Dravis was bad enough, or the Dravis I had was bad enough as a blender.
Yeah, if I could do that over again, I would probably play him as a ranger,
Oh yeah.
dual wielding longbows.
Hmm. Yes.
But like now, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not even going to acknowledge the four-armed race that David allowed you to play because I would have been like, no.
It's
But
a legit race.
I know, but I'm basic and I keep my games basic.
Mhm.
But like you still made a monster out of the Dravis from my game with just being a dual
Yeah,
wielding light weapon warrior because like you had like so many attacks.
I'm big. I'm big into DPS. That's
Yep.
if I can get in and do the damage quickly, I can, have enough hit points to take the damage back.
Right.
That's the class I take. That's the class I'll play.
Okay.
Um, I want to be the blender. I want to be the person in there doing as much damage as I can.
Yeah.
And I know that upper level wizards, or sorcerers are really the baddest in the game as far as like just being able to insta kill stuff.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I've always said I only have to make one saving throw.
Now
Yeah.
here's the thing.
And
Oh,
but
sorry. Go
it's
ahead.
also kind of one of those things like with any kind of magic user, that's like the roughest part is getting them to that level.
Yeah,
Like
you got to get
just
them to at least level 8 before they're
yeah.
really powerful enough to.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, casters, especially like mages and wizards and all that, definitely they have that firepower. And me as a DM, which I know I wouldn't appreciate this nearly as much as a player, love watching them get that first. They first unlock fireball, and they are not thinking about uh, area of effect,
Splash
the
damage?
splash damage area of effect, because we had my buddy Mike in the last games I DM'd. He played. He had that. I think at least the first time he did it, I'm like, okay, well, it hits how many squares? He's like, oh,
Yeah.
and they're like, yep. Oh, well, so and so is getting scorched a little bit from that because
That kind of goes back to people that played first and second edition where you didn't really have that.
oh
That
yeah,
wasn't necessarily a thing.
right.
You know, it was the big thing. Oh, here comes a wizard and their fireball. You know.
Right, right. But
Right.
and I think that's a good thing that they improved upon acknowledging that because yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
wizards once they got to a high level, which granted was a lot harder in first and second edition to level up, they became beasts and with no consequence of just lighting up a fireball in the middle of a big battle. That's no fun for a DM.
I can't. How can I damage the rest of the party with this?
Splash damage is your own problem.
Right.
Is the way I always play it.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
your alchemist who turned into like a gunslinger, wasn't it, Jerry? That
yeah.
yeah, you had like
Y-
you had some splash damage abilities, but did you have something that negated it or like a
Yeah,
ability?
there was a like a friendly fire, and it's like the same thing as far as like magic users go. You can take the splash damage off of like a certain number of squares equal to like your wisdom or charisma or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember, but whatever saving throw or whatever determines your hit, I
Right.
think you can take off that many squares of damage. So it kind of worked out pretty well, especially whenever I got like healing bullets and stuff.
Killing bullets.
Healing
This
bombs.
this is why I don't allow alchemists and gunslingers in my game anymore, because of healing bullets and healing bombs.
That is.
Listen.
I'm going to shoot you back to life.
Listen, healing bombs barely did any healing as it was, honestly. Like it was.
You're
it
about
was,
dead. Let me shoot you. There's 8 hit points back.
Yeah, like that's it though. You could easily
That's
do.
it.
You could easily give them 8 hit points or hit them for 8 hit
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the most Borderlands thing I've ever heard of outside of that game. I mean, just shoot to heal your party. But that's that was definitely that was a fun game. That was the last game I played as a player. Was that game with you, Craig? That's where I got to be a tank, well, first time and the last time. I will go back to being a good old boring bard again, because tanking, I salute all those who want to defend their party. But I don't know, that was
Well, that's why I like playing a Warpriest, because if you play it right, you can play it as a fighter and as your own personal healer.
true.
After the death of Dravis, I decided I'll never play something where I can't heal myself again.
Yeah.
I can see that. And you know what? If I'm remembering correctly, and the sad thing is, I think you gave me, or I somehow got the option to have a small heal burst. Oh, because you gave us like wish crystals or something, and I think I kept forgetting I even had it.
You had a ring of healing.
Ring of heal, yeah, and I just never ticked my health back up, which is on me again.
There's a ring of regeneration.
Yeah.
+1. Every round you should have got 1 hit point back.
And my dumbass was not doing it. Even I was taking it back. And, again,
which isn't a lot, but it makes it almost impossible to kill you.
Right, exactly. And if I wasn't a dummy I would have, I would have been tracking that. But and again, to me, that goes back though with not like not like players harp, at least not in our circles, but like they blame the DMs for their deaths and stuff. And sometimes players we just get the dumbs. We're not thinking about our healing rings or teamwork.
Man, yeah, there's definitely like rough encounters, and then there's rough encounters.
Yeah, it's always the warm up battles that kill the party, though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of funny how that works out in an evening, though. You'll be rolling like straight fire, and then like as the night progresses, you just get worse and worse. It's like, why?
Or like with Craig's game, it was the exact opposite. We roll like terrible in the first like 3 encounter with 3 goblins, and we're just getting our asses handed to us because the dice just hate us. And then we go against this big giant whatever minotaur, whatever like monster he's got planned, and we're just crit city on our end. Just crit. And Craig's just like, I think he visibly like threw your character sheet one time, or your papers down. Like, what the fuck?
Well, you can't ever figure it out as a DM, because if you put like 3 big monsters in the end battle, they'll just kill everybody. You put 1, and the party just wipes them. There, you can't ever. And then on the way there, you die to gem encrusted gargoyles.
Oh, fuck those gargoyles!
Oh man!
But yeah, that's the fun to me of like tabletop and Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, all that good stuff, is because you can plan so much and you can know your character sheet, but sometimes the dice gods just say fuck you,
Yeah.
And you can put all your dice in punishment corners, and some people burn them and throw them away. But
I think that's how Blake's doing in our current game. Is like he just built this really great character, but he can't roll to save his life.
And Laura rolled like 4 crits this week, man.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
As a wizard.
Yep.
Wow, that's just that's the miracle of the dice.
Yep.
Sometimes, like I said, they bless you. Sometimes they curse you.
Yep. Crazy times, man. Good times.
For sure. Yeah. It was great. I love as big of a headache as it could be, because I took on that many damn players. It's still some of my fondest memories with y'all. We had some damn good nights, even when I made bad choices as a DM, and sometimes I made great choices that made for a fun session.
Sometimes the bad choices make for the best memory, though.
I mean, we do. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever going to forgive me or forget the Gremlins encounter.
Nope.
I was not in that game, thankfully.
Yeah. Real quick for the listeners, just to explain that, I thought it was a great idea because I found these one Gremlins in the Pathfinder monster thing that can curse you to where you have to re-roll crits every time. Or no, not crits. You had to always,
you had to roll twice.
Yeah, every time.
Yep.
Yeah, and it basically made them to where they couldn't crit ever, which may have been better in retrospect on a boss. But I made it every fucking Gremlin. But to my credit, I based that entire campaign on Gremlins 2 and all the variety of Gremlins in there, and I'm still proud of that. I think
it was a great game.
It was a fun concept a fun campaign ruined by a terrible concept.
Right.
And I can accept that, but that's how it goes. Sometimes the spaghetti doesn't stick to the wall, if that's even an analogy. I don't fucking know.
Close enough.
Well, gentlemen, I think we are nearing our time. Craig, thank you once again for joining us on this show. Is there anything you want to pimp, produce, anything you want to say?
Nah, I mean, thanks for having me on the show, guys. It was a good time. If you want to hear more of me, you can find me on Southern Fried Geekery. It comes out every Sunday afternoon. Yeah, we have a Facebook page, all the social medias. You can find us anywhere. So, thanks for having me, guys. It was a good time.
Oh, absolutely. And if y'all enjoyed listening to our podcast, please, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and, of course, the biggest thing, share these videos. Spread the good word. And also, if we're still looking for any topics or any unpopular opinions or anything you want to hear me and Jerry, or possibly even a guest, if it comes time for us to have another guest on the show you want us to discuss, hit us up in the comments or hit us up on our social medias. But for now...
Yeah. And
sorry, Jerry.
Also, check out, I know we released one yesterday, which, yesterday is going to be a week time from when this is released. But anyway,
time of recording.
Yes. Check the channel and check the video. We've been doing some unboxing and stuff, so nice that should be up.
Yeah, new take on my weekly pickup videos. Now Jerry is joining me on that with our lovely faces on camera.
yeah, that's the one crux, is you have to see our faces, so deal with it.
But that's gonna do it, y'all. We'll catch y'all later.
Yeah, peace.